We are going to talk about mortgages. You know, if you know anything about what's going on in the real estate market in North Mississippi right now, it's definitely a seller's market. There's other ways to get around that right now. One of them is to get pre-approved. I've got my guest here today.
Kevin Carter with Apex Mortgages.
And we brought him in because he's an expert in the field of mortgages, and what he's doing right now is getting people pre-approved and also getting refinances if you've got a bunch of equity because the values are just going up in your neighborhood and you want to remodel your house and do anything different, or just cash out and refinance.
So it's definitely a great time to either purchase or refinance. Absolutely.
Now, what I like about your company, Bo Striplin, is that you have a company that's locally owned, and
Yes.
that makes a difference because a lot of people were going to the internet to get pre-approved, and not all buyers, not all sellers are accepting those approval letters. Now, you're a locally owned company, and the cool thing about all three of y'all is you'll answer your phone, all the time.
All the time.
You can text your mortgage lender.
we do, and I tell my clients that it doesn't matter if it's a weekend, it doesn't matter if it's late at night. If you've got a question, if it's bothering you, then reach out, and I'll either answer right away or I'll get right back to you.
Let's talk about who you're getting most of the loans for right now. Is it purchases? Is it refinances?
Well, it's actually a nice mix. We offer quite a few different products for both. But I think the issue with the purchases right now is actually finding the home. But I think the refinances are, just because the rates are so low, people are looking to save some money on their monthly bill and maybe pull out some cash, like you said, and remodel school tuitions, whatever's coming up.
Okay, so let's talk about, we don't know how long this is going to last with the rates, but there's great ways that they can work and they can utilize their money. I want to talk about how they can utilize their money, like up to what % of the value traditionally can they refinance up? Because that's a big question.
Well, it is. Well, if you're going to pull cash out, it's going to only be 80% of whatever the value of the home is. If you just want to do a refinance, then you can go up in the mid-90s. We have a couple of great products. If you already have an FHA loan or a VA loan, we can do what's called a streamline. It's got some other names for it, but it basically is just a really quick way to refinance your home and get the new rate. We
had some people I reached out and I wanted to get some questions called in to the show, and that's actually, what is the definition of a streamline?
So the definition of a streamline is when you have an FHA or you have a VA loan. And so what's really interesting and what's great about it is that you don't have to have an appraisal, you don't have to have income docs. It's a very quick loan. It's just based off of the value of your home, and it's based off of your payment history since you've had the home. And we usually can close those in under 2 weeks.
Wow, that's really quick.
Yeah, really fast.
And the values are going up, and I know a lot of it because there's not availability of homes, there's not a lot of inventory out there, and there's a lot of people that are trying to buy a house. And you can't really make an offer and take your time and go around and decide. I mean, I've seen it firsthand. When people find a house they want to buy, they'll go and write a contract. You can write full price and somebody else still gets it from you. It's back in the 90s when I got into real estate, we used to do a lot of HUD homes downtown, 200 Jefferson, I think is where it was. And every Tuesday morning we would have to bring our bids down there. And it didn't matter how much you're offering. It's like you subtract closing costs, repairs. It's the bottom line. And that's kind of what it seems like the seller's able to do right now.
It is, and I think that's why a lot of people are looking maybe to refinance the home they're in, because then they can go and remodel it, turn it into that home that they maybe need to, do an addition, build a garage, whatever they want to do. So they're able to do that because the market is difficult sometimes to find a new home. So, we take a lot of phone calls. We do a lot of things over the internet, but the real first way to get started is to look at your credit and look at the history that you've provided so far. From that, we can have a pretty good understanding. Then there's a couple of things that we look at next, which is income docs and some other things, bank statements. From that, we can kind of get you pre-qualified, and then we can find out either how much you can spend on a new home or what your rate would be on either, but also through the refinance.
I'm looking at my notes off camera, and the next question is exactly that. What's the easiest way to get pre-qualified? Because you can't just go look at houses until you're really qualified. What's the best way? Do you have like a contact number or something?
I do. At 310-904-9008. Or you can reach me at kevin@myapexmg.com. And then we also have the website, which is myapexmg.com, that has an application, has lots of information on there. So if they have other questions, they can certainly check it out there.